Morning.
Morning.
I think it said it was already.
Oh, here we go. And draw your knees in. Oh, and sometimes that is just a great feeling of relaxation. Sometimes it's painful. Don't, like Karen said, just don't do it if it's painful. You don't want to make something worse. It really is a fine line between stretching good pain and injury bad pain. And if you're lucky, you know the difference. I've had to really try to learn it. So knees drawn in and then start to circle your knees with the big toes together. You have a little bit of safety built in and a little bit of more guarantee that you're using the core. But yeah, I'll just say that for now. And then go the other way and put some effort into the squeezing of the toes. You can use your hands to guide the knees or just do it with your brain. And hug your knees in. And if it's possible, lift that lower back. So you're hugging in so far to the chest that the lower back comes off the floor. Slide your hands to your head and start to take knee to opposite elbow. Bicycling it out here, side to side. Press the lower back into the floor so your navel is moving toward the ground. Then each side, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug it in. Rest the head down. Stretch your left leg out and start to flex and point the foot. Admire your foot and align it with your knee and your ankle and your hip. Hold a nice deep dorsiflexion and really push up through the heel. Ankle is even on both sides. And extend, holding that ankle still, extend up through the ball of the big toe. So your foot is still flexed, but you're trying to lift the big toe side a little bit more toward the ceiling. And you'll notice that brings some more definition into the inside of the foot. And then circle the leg, holding it still inside the socket, or so it seems, right? You don't want the hip to move, just the leg bone inside the hip, and then go the other way. And do what you can to keep that strong flexion in the foot, ankle, and to keep the back of the leg straight, which, like, mine feels straight, but it's not when I look at it. And then hold it center and send it down nice and slowly. Let it rest on the floor. Tip your hips forward to accommodate that left leg bone dropping down into the leg, down toward the back of the leg. And then pull your right knee in close to your chest and circle that knee, trying to hold everything else still, which will be done by keeping your core stronger. And then go the other way. Hold on to your right knee, pull the leg slightly toward the right, and smooth down your left, or with your left hand, your torso and your left thigh. The muscle that Heather's talking about is an interesting one, often confused with the psoas. I mean, and I'm not there palpating her. It could be the psoas, I could be wrong, but my suspicion is it's the iliacus, and I just want us all to find that. We're on the left side, so I know most of you have aggravation on the right side. So let's find it on the left first. So take your hand like a claw, grab your hip bone. It's a bit tricky to find. Angle your hand so that it's going, the fingers are pointing out. The fingers are sort of hooked and pointing out, and you want to dig into that inside surface of that left hip bone. So as though you were scraping or trying to get to the inner bowl that starts at the crest, and hook your fingers around it. You kind of, then you turn them in toward you and grab. And then if you move your fingers around, you can find that muscle. But even with that instruction, which may have made no sense, it's still tricky to find. It really is. It's tricky to palpate, which is ironic because it can be so painful when it's pulled. Okay, so that's the muscle, and it's long. It travels down to the pelvic floor, and I think this one also travels up to the diaphragm, but it really hangs out in here. Okay. Press your right knee into your hand and your hand into the knee, out at it at the angle where it is. And you'll feel your right outer buttock tighten, I think. I do. And then bring your hand inside your inner knee and press the knee into the hand and vice versa. And we feel our adductors, our adductors. Now here you may feel that iliacus and psoas turn on both sides. It might be painful. Now bring the knee across all the way over. Reach your right arm over, open. And with your left hand again, brush your right outer hip superficially, right at the level of the skin, away from you. And the bones will follow, the muscles will follow these instructions. The skin is a superconductive highway of information. Arch your back. So Lola, my Lola doggy, has some kind of rash. And I think I'm getting the rash on my face, the rash she has, as I was kissing her. And I put on every cream, every single cream I could find. Start to circle your right arm all the way around. And it did help the itch for sure. However, what really helped was taking a bath, because the nervous system is so connected to the skin. The skin is this communication highway. So it was really interesting. It's not technically the skin's in charge of the skin, as far as I know, but it made such a huge difference to my skin when I relax my nervous system. Reach out your right arm when you get to the right again. Look to the hand, and then look to the, speaking of nervous system, so we're going to the vagus nerve when we do these eye movements. Look to the back right corner of the room without changing your face, just the eyes move. And then back to the hand. And back right corner. And back to the hand. And this also strengthens the eye muscles, back right corner. Which is kind of the same thing as saying it strengthens our brain, because our eyes are our brain tissue, just visible. And then hand. And reach to your right arm and roll onto your back. Voila. One side done. Hug your knees to your chest and just rock a little side to side, super gently, massaging the low back hip area. These are the QLs perhaps, which are deep, deep, deep muscles on either side of the spine. There are also erector muscles, which are slightly more superficial and run all the way up the spine. There are facet joints, and all of these things can be aggravated. And once aggravated, harder to soothe again. That's what I was thinking about my skin. I was like, oh gosh, like once something gets erupted, it's much harder to untangle that. I don't know, when it's so systemic. It wasn't like a pimple, it's the whole surface. And then hold the front of your left shin, send your right leg up and start to flex and point. Slow it down and really fan the foot open and reach through that toe, the big toe especially. And then hold that deep, deep flexion, standing more to the inner line of from is the alley of the big toe to the inner heel, that part. Spreading each toe and driving the thigh bone down without displacing the hips. You'll circle the right leg. Belly toned. Go the other way. And it's as though you had a heavy, heavy tray on your foot. And hold it in the center and send that leg down nice and slowly, defying gravity. Let that right leg come down and let the leg bone sink toward the earth. Pull the left knee in and circle that knee, keeping the belly nice and it's not too tight. It's not hard. It's just toned. And then go the other way. Keep your jaw relaxed and open, but do try to breathe through the nose. Hold the front of your left shin and gently pull on an angle toward that left shoulder. And then claw your fingers and see if you can, or ankle your fingers and see if you can find that muscle on the inside of that right hip bone. And I'm going to say, do what you want with your fingers. I don't think my instructions were particularly helpful. You might want to move them back and forth a little bit on that inner edge. And see if you can hook your fingers, find your way in. And notice if it's harder to do on this side to get to that inner edge. Is there a muscle that's kind of sticking out because it's locked, turned on? Sometimes I find with the pain in this muscle, the reason working the opposite QL works is it helps this muscle turn off. It's not that it's necessarily pulled, it's that it won't turn off. It's hypertrophic, I think is what you call that. So I'm taking my fingers, this side is on and not off for me. So I'm jiggling my fingers on the muscle, wiggling pretty quickly with about 2 pounds of pressure. Just trying to give my brain a sense of where this muscle is. And maybe my brain will notice that it's on and not off and turn it off. Maybe not. I think it's going to take more than that. Press your left hand, but it's a shot. Take your left leg and push it into the platter of your left hand, abducting, and resist. Feel that nice tension on the inner thigh. So what we do want is all muscles to turn on and all muscles to turn off. So in this part of the class, we do go systematically through several of them, playing with that concept. And then the hand on the inside and press the thigh into the hand and the hand into the thigh. And feel all the auxiliary core muscles involved in this action. They're fun. And then relax it. Oh. So it opens more because there were muscles that were stuck on and didn't know it. And then bring the knee into the middle, shift your hips to the left arm open and twist across. I think we forgot to smooth out that torso, sorry about that. And with your right hand, smooth down that left side. And when we're talking to the nervous system, we could be soothing a lot of things more than just rearranging bones and muscle. Look out to the left. And just enjoy the twist for a moment. You may notice that it doesn't feel like it's moving through the whole spine. If this is the case, arch your back just a little bit, moving your spinal column more inside the body. That translates to you. So kind of can remain out and not moving. You want it to be in, moving it more toward what feels like the middle of the body. And begin to circle that left arm down. around and trace it with your eyes, track it with your eyes all the way around. Nice big circle. We want to keep our shoulders limber, especially as we are aging. These shoulders can get very cantankerous. They get moody and then they'll start misbehaving. Look out at that left hand and look to the back left corner of your room without moving your face. Look at the hand. Brain training here. And look at the back left corner. And look at your hand. And back left corner. And hopefully also resetting the vagal nerve and left hand. And left corner, which runs through most of our organs. And then relax your eyes, reach to the left arm, roll to your back, hug your knees in. Feel the comfort here and maybe more elasticity. And then relax your feet to the floor. Take your hands to the back of your neck, right at the base of your skull. And very light touch, just run your fingers from the back of the skull to the jaw 3 or 4 times. Light touch, like you could get like goosebumps almost, like ooh, that kind of feeling. And then land on your jaw, and at the back part of it, you're just gonna hook your fingers around the top and the bottom with super gentle touch, and apply a 1/4 pound of pressure ish, just so light to let the jaw just open. And of all things, this is a reset for the glutes. So that tells us there's a huge link here between tension in the neck and tension in our butt. Muscles being able to turn on and off. This is the glute reset. Again, let's run the fingers from the base of the skull to the jaw, base of the skull, back of the head to the jaw. One more time. Hold that crimp edge and just gently open that hinge. Breathe and let the shoulders drop. And then we're going to move our fingers to the front of the chest and rub under the collarbones, pec muscles, opening all this up and down to the ribs, where they're the most ribby, like down here at the bottom and at the diaphragm. Get your fingers under there. So many muscles run through here, and when the diaphragm is tight or locked up, those muscles are constricted, and it affects our back, our legs, our knees, everything gets off. So we want all this open, and just tap your fingers over the whole torso. From like your, like it's a piece of, it's a rectangle, like legal paper. Opening all this up, and this will help to bring freedom into the hips. Okay, and then stretch your arms back behind you, let the lower back arch, grab your left wrist and pull. So I'm grabbing my left wrist with my right hand and pull toward your right, and you'll feel, or at least I feel, my lat, my left lat so tight. This is tight, and I feel it my side, and I feel it in the tricep on the behind the back part of the left arm. And my right waist is crimping, so I'm kind of bending into that waist, and I can feel this in my left iliacus. So it's pronounced iliacus, I don't know. And then relax that into the other side. Grab that right wrist with your left hand, pull to the left, and crimp, bend into that left waist, and see if that right, if you can feel this all the way through to the right hip, but you're really feeling that right lat, right, maybe tricep, right, maybe some open to other muscles. You might feel the deltoid somehow, the rear delt, front delt, I don't know. And it depends on where you're tight. And then release that, come back to the center, reach through both hands And now press your low back into the floor. And go ahead and raise your buttocks up off the ground. Don't come, your arms are back, so you're more like a slide, a diagonal slide here. Let your knees fall together as long as it doesn't hurt them. I know we have 2 knee pains, maybe 3 here. And then widen your knees back to hip width. Knees come together, your buttocks will drop slightly, and then knees move parallel. Let's do 5. And take this at your own pace. 4, 3, 2. Hold those knees together. Feel those outer leg muscles. And then parallel. Feel that tailbone curling under. And use your buttocks pull straight up, contracting and defining your buttocks. 10, 9, 8, 7. Make sure there's lots of room for your neck here. Don't crunch it. We want our next swan-like and beautiful. 5, 4, 3. That some of the muscles might be tired, so because they might have just been on for so long. Might be challenging them in a certain way. Hold 1. Tiny little pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7. Strong ankles. 5, 4, 3, 2. Squeeze and hold that tush. And then lower your back down 1 vertebra at a time. Let the arms come down as well. We'll take a few rolling pelvis movements here. Press your low back into the floor, scooping the navel down toward the floor. And then roll your pelvis away from you. Exhale, press it down into the mat. Imprint your spine. Inhale, tip the pelvis forward. A muffin could fit under your low back. Exhale, crush that muffin. Press the big toes, ball mounds of the big toe and pinky toes into the ground. Squeeze your toes, grip your mat. Roll that pelvis forward. Press the low back down. Let's circle a clock here. 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, sorry guys, I've confused the clock, but one side is 12, one side is 6, one side is 3, one side is 9, and rotate your pelvis accordingly around the clock. And what I ask here is that we try to not use the legs. We try to isolate this movement within the pelvis, not easy at all. And then go the other way and just notice if your tongue is doing weird things for your jaw. This is probably a question for Karen. I'll ask you another time, or you'll answer me another time. But I notice kids' mouths move with their body more than adults do, like their jaws and their tongue and they do weird things with their mouth when they dance or do athletics. And that grown-ups do this much less. What changes? And then come to the center. Voila. And if you were really, really lucky, maybe some muscles that were stuck on are now learning to turn themselves on and off. Knees fall together. Take a deep breath here. And you're going to melt your shoulders down as you exhale. 2 more like that. Deep breath in. Let the muscles relax around the neck. Stress that you might be holding there. 1 more time. Deep breath in. Take your right ear toward your right shoulder. Right hand comes over the head and adds a little bit of pressure to this. Hold right under that left ear. Gently add a little stretch along that left side. I'm bringing circulation into all our necks here, just helping the bodies circulate a little more blood, lymph, nerve here. So we're all a bit stuck. I'm just adding a little booster circulation to help. And I'm using 2 meridians here to help this. The pericardium one, which is trying to protect the heart, especially on this left side. And the triple warmer, which is a way to get some blood circulation and heat moving. Pin that left shoulder down. Now take your right hand to your right ear. Use the hand to press the head back to the middle. Never try to use your neck muscles when they've been stretched like that. They will resent you. Take a deep breath in the center. Blow out through your lips like a pony. That may help with the polyvagal nerves, which can get very irritated. Left ear toward left shoulder. Right shoulder stays pinned down. Left arm comes over to the right ear and gently pull. Right shoulder down, gently pulling here. And again, I'm going to add a little booster of circulation. I need to look up why this is, but I've been noticing in sessions recently that women tend to have a bunch of stem cells in this area, kind of on reserve, like a nice sort of reservoir of stem cells waiting in the wings, so to speak, to help out if something is needed. And that's coming to my attention here too. So just I'm working that a little bit for each one of you personally. The stem cells make this cool thing called telomerase. They're the only ones who can make it, and it's this amazing healing agent that the body has access to when the stem cells are stimulated. So just inviting that healing agent into places where you may need it. Okay, and then left hand to left ear. So carefully push your head back to the middle. Take a deep breath. Let that right shoulder drop. Found a bruiser. Exhale. Okay. Wow, you may feel like a new person. I feel a little bit refreshed. Roll to your side. Make your way up onto all fours. So we spent some extra time working strategically there today on our backs. Hands and knees. And you're just going to take a few rounds here. Cat cow. I want your toes tucked under and energy through those big toes. Scrub your knees toward each other isometrically, creating a little more awareness in the core, a little more alertness. And make whatever wiggles and jiggles you need to here for your own body. Then you might have to adjust them a little bit depending how slippery your mat is. Knees isometrically trying to pull apart. Wow, this is harder for me to hold. I'm not going to talk. Great. Now, if you have 2 blocks available, put them flat in front of you. I don't want to wake those up in my closet, so I'm not going to demo that. But you don't need them. You can come down onto your elbows, put the blocks on the elbows. Wait, opposite of that, put the elbows on the blocks. Thank you, Beth, for doing what I meant. And then knees go back under your hips, which if you can see yourself, you may see that under your hips is farther back than it feels, at least mine are. And then you're going to get those elbows forward, press your butt back. You may need to put something under your knees. And then the chest is going down. This is for sure shoulders and triceps, but it also might get your lats. Oof. I'm pulling my elbows toward each other isometrically and toward my body asymmetrically. That's how I like to do it. I notice some people just like to relax here. I really don't. belly pulled in, try knees scrubbing toward and knees scrubbing away, and see which feels better for your particular body circumstances. Okay. If you can, if you're not working with blocks, stretch your arms straight out. If you're working with blocks, stay on the elbows. And then we're going to switch up, come back up to a quadruped position. So all fours, round into an exaggerated cat to counter that. And this engages the lats. Can you feel how they wrap? How there are muscles wrapping toward your front body from the back body. And you might even be able to picture their diamond-like bottom. And then the gills, the gill-like muscles that are under the armpits and wrap around from the shoulder blade to the armpit. Breathe there. Breathe into those gills. Now we're going to transition this, go slowly, let your hips fall toward the ground into a cobra. Let the toes point and squeeze your elbows like you're a cricket into your sides. Lift the chin all the way up. Let your eyes travel back toward the back wall. Butt might be squeezing, which would be lovely. And then we're going to take it down. Toes are pointed, straighten out your arms a little bit, interlace the fingers at your low back. Rest them on the plate of your sacrum, so higher than the butt crack. Squeeze the elbows toward each other. Take a moment to notice the line of the big toe and the front of the foot pushing down. That will help anchor you through the tailbone. Inhale. As you exhale, reach those thumbs toward the bottom of the butt and lift your feet. Lift up off the ground, squeeze the shoulder blades. Long neck on all sides. Breathe. Lift high here. You can get those legs up, feel those hamstrings begin to work. And then relax down. Make a pillow with your hands. Turn your head to your favorite side. And breathe consciously into your lower back. Letting the breath fan out along those muscles. So we say that, and the breath is really functional. And the brain, when it goes into that area, on some level is able to scan it better. And that means, I hope, I think, in my experience, that the brain can do some healing work when it knows where to be, when it knows where to look. It's like, oh, yeah, thank you. And then bring the forehead to the center. Take the hands behind you again. Switch the cross of your fingers, if you can figure that out. And then slide your thumbs onto your sacrum. Right, so those elbows are bent cricket style again. Squeezing toward each other. Inhale. And as you exhale, stretch them straight toward the bottom of the buttocks and lift your legs. Reach through those big toes. Looking good, you guys. Gorgeous. Feel those muscles curling in toward the spine. Keep your neck long. Lift the legs. Breathe. Now release the hands, bring them by the nipples, thumbs in line where the nipples are-ish. Press down through your feet, cobra, cricket your arms. Tailbone hooking down, chin all the way up. Come up onto all fours. Right away, tuck your toes, lift your seat with bent knees. Stretch your buttocks back so you're getting a side body stretch on both arms, both side bodies. And then straighten the legs, stretch out the calves one at a time. So pedal here. You may find that your calves are tight. If the knees are hurting or the hips are hurting, low back is hurting, this shows up in tight calves. Can, often does. One at a time. Give it a moment. It's part of the leg. does not have, well, more the ankle, doesn't have as many blood vessels. And it can take a while for it to get all the messages. Give it a while, give it a few seconds each side. And then when you're ready, walk up to where your hands are. Bend the knees generously and send your sitting bones back, heart forward, with your fingers claw the ground so you have traction, and that will help you to get a deeper, richer back bend. Beth, lift the chest up more and butt back more. Gorgeous. And then fold, drop your head, scrub your feet, tighten your tummy, let go. Bend the knees a little for agility, lift through the heart. Inhale, rise up, arms lift up, 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 fingers to the sky. Lovely. Grab that left wrist, just like what we did on the ground, lift up and over to the right. Press down through your left foot. Lean your hips left. Bending into that right waist. Look up. Left armpit, left arm. Gently pull. Push down through the ground here. Nice. Push down, lift to center, grab right wrist, slight bend in the knee, up and over to the left. Send your hips more to the right. Pull. Look up. Push down through the inner edge of the right foot. Oof. Get it. Get it. And then lift up to center. Reach up. Spread your arms like wings. Fold forward. All right. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step left and right foot back. Plank. Low push up. Inhale, glide through like you're on easy casters. Upward dog. Shoulders back, beautiful. Downward facing dog. Gorgeous. I'm seeing triceps popping. Those are the muscles I want to see. Enjoy here, breathing through the nose exclusively. Your own station, your own frequencies here. White noise radio. Wrangling your focus, your attention into your practice. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees on an exhale, walk, traveling to your hands or jump. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, fold forward, release. Inhale, rise up. Nice. Grab the right wrist, lift up and over to the left. Plug in through the feet and the hips to the right. Wait, I don't know if I said that right. Look up to the right. And then push down, come up, grab the left wrist, hips over to the left as you pull toward the right. Push the inner edge of your left foot down. And look up to the left. Oof, get it. And you may feel this from the hip. Inhale, come up to center, reach. Exhale and dive forward. Inhale, look up and step right and left foot back. Chaturanga. Glide, inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, down dog. Finding that rhythm of breath. Excellent. Inhale, raise your heels, bend the knees, exhale, travel forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, flush it out. Inhale, rise. Take a back bend here, bend the elbows, send the heart up. Beautiful. Inhale, reach through your fingers. Exhale, fold forward. Feel how everything is working for you. Inhale, lift your heart, step left and right foot back. Low push up, bend the elbows. Inhale, travel through. Exhale, back, downward dog. Smooth out your inhales and exhales. Feel those muscles on your back widen, making space for the neck. Lats pulling down toward the hips, hips rising up toward the sky, calves, hamstrings lengthening, quadriceps firming, holding the knees safely in place, creating a nice structure for the knees. Knees need a lot of holding. Inhale, raise the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, travel forward. Inhale, look up. Good. Exhale, fold in, use your tummy. Or just come into chair pose. Good. Sit back. Now, okay, kind of, let's bring the hands to the heart just to put them somewhere in prayer. Now you're gonna hike up your right hip and right heel. So you're just gonna lift your hip toward your waist and lower, and then left side. Alternate sides here. So hip raises, lateral side of the hip lifts, heel lifts, and you lower. So working that outer side. It's a bit odd and fun here when we challenge the quads. At the same time, we can feel those deep belly muscles, hopefully belly dancer muscles, engaged. Let's do 5 each side. 4, 3, and it's a deep massage for that lower back tissue. And what it's doing is helping those hip muscles in the front let go. Last one each side. Arms extend. Your quads might be burning. Tummy in, look up, and let it go. See if you fold closer to your legs as those front of the hip muscles maybe have surrendered. Inhale, pull forward. Let's step that left leg back. Add that left knee, because you're going to put the knee on the floor. Sink your hips forward toward that front heel. Tailbone is leading the way. It's pointing the way forward. Deep stretch on that front left hip. Up to you. I'm going to take my hands down. I'm a little tired, but if I wanted more, I would take my arms up. And if I want to get that left lat, I'm going to grab that left wrist and bend over to the right. Or hands can stay down and let those hips sink. Whichever feels best for you today. Customized. Now let's get the back of that right leg, slide the hips back a ways, flex that right foot, hamstring, let's focus on that. Push down through the right heel, drag it slightly, mostly isometrically, just toward you. Left hip rolling forward. Breathe here, stretching that right leg quite a bit. And try to twerk or extend back from that tailbone. Tailbone will be in flexion. You want to try to bring it in the opposite way. So rather than tuck it under, try to send it back. But careful if you're very open there. You don't want to do it too much and hurt anything. Okay, rebend that right knee. Lift your left thigh away from the floor. Let's take a twist, right arm up. Sweep that right arm over the ear. Look up into it. As you turn your spine more up in toward that right arm, counter twist by lifting your left hip higher, hips rotating toward the floor. So instead of turning the hips to the right, the hips turn left, torso turns to the right. A little confusing. And then right hand comes down, step back plank. We're going to take this into a side plank. Your right knee could come down, or just swivel your heels to the right, lift your left arm. Send your hips up, waist up, ribs up, reach that left arm overhead, pull the right shoulder blade onto the back. Good. Rotate to plank, low push up, upward dog, downward dog. Got to get that torso nice and long. Stabilize the muscles for the knees. Inhale, lift up. Let your heels bend the knees, walk or jump to your hands. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, slow, deep fold. Shake your head no. And yes. Thank goodness for gravity helping our neck. Release this heavy atlas, heavy weight of the world. Bend the knees, chair pose. Bring the fingers, interlace them together at chest height. Arms are slightly rounded. Pull the fingers apart. Hip raises, hip and heel. 5, each side. 4, 3, kind of fun. 2, and 1. Sink deeper, reach through those arms now, straighten them, extend them, hips back, scrub with your toes, and fold, let go. Inhale, look forward, and lunge back with the right leg, add the knee as much as necessary, hips sinking toward left heel. Hands can be on the floor, blocks up, or take that right wrist and stretch it over toward the left. This is really good if you're tight in the front of the hips, adding this piece. But whatever feels right for you, please customize it. But what we're looking for is that deep lunge. Stabilize for the knees by squeezing out our hips. And then pulling back into the hamstring stretch. Stretch that left leg. Flex the foot, extend through the heart. Pull those toes back. And can you feel the leg moving into the body? If your right knee hurts too much to be on it, you can elevate it off the ground a little bit. Makes sense. Try to extend the heart, so no rounding in the middle back. Try to move the breast forward, nipples forward. Lower back moving into extension. So uncurl the tailbone. Carefully though. Rebend that left knee, right knee up. Counter twisting your hips to your right as you twist to the left. Left arm high. Right knee off the ground. You're in a juicy lunge here, squeezing the buttocks. Front thigh parallel to the floor. Hips are a strong agent here. They're sucking in, holding that lower spine so that you can organically twist. Yeah, sweep that left arm over the ear if you want. Nice, look up. Excellent. Now, if you want to, you can go right from here. Roll the outer edge of your right foot back. Wait, oh, but do we have to go to the other side? My bad, sorry, my bad. So step back. You can bring that left shin down, right arm up, or spin your heels directly to the left and take that right arm high. Coming into side plank here. Hips are lifting, waist and ribs are lifting. Right arm can go over ear. Nice and strong here. I believe we're on the left arm. Beth, I said it wrong at first, but whichever side you did before. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Luigi, stop attacking mama. And then when you're ready, come back to plank. Low push-up. Inhale, beautiful, upward dog. Exhale, back, downward dog. Shake out your head. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Really nice. Get a long sense of the breath through the body. Inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, bend the knees, travel forward. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold down, let go. Bend the knees, come to chair, raise the arms up.
Good, excellent. Put a block between the legs, if you have one, or a pillow. Hands come to prayer, and take your left elbow outside your right leg, twist. Tummy in strong. Left knee shifting back if it shifted forward. If it feels good, open the arms up, bottom hand to ground, top arm to sky. Beautiful. And release forward, forward fold. Heather's just being mauled by her dog. Luckily, he's only like 12 pounds, or she would be in a lot of trouble. Bend your knees, come into chair pose. Hands to your heart, right elbow outside of left leg, or whichever way you went last time. Go the other way. And you want to direct your breath into the back. And if you're on your left, and you want to breathe into the back right side of your spine, and vice versa if you're on the other side. Open the arms up if you like. And try to use this as an opportunity to move the shoulder blades away from the neck muscles, squeezing the shoulder blades, show them who they are, turn. Well done. And release, fold forward. Let's come down, take the block out into a squat, Malasana here, and press your knees open. Press elbows into knees. If, again, a lot of these things, sometimes it's like, I say lucky, and what I mean by that is like, if the alignment just works out, this can be a huge adjustment for the hips. But it's like, I guess by luck, I just mean that things have to be in the right place at the right time. And we help it out, of course, by pushing elbows into knees, knees into elbows, trying to lift the front of the spine. We create the opportunity. And sometimes it really works. Then bring your hands down behind you to carefully place your butt on the floor. Let's bring the legs out in front of us into Upavishta. So about 40, I don't know, a 90-degree angle, a little wider, maybe not too wide. Now, I like to start with bent knees and feet flexed, personally. And we're just going to take the hands behind the head and go from side to side. It's not very far. Belly in, pelvis is upright. Now let's drop a little lower behind the knee. Bending at that waist. I'm scrubbing my heels, keeping my legs active. Okay, now I'm centered. I'm gonna see if this works. Straighten the legs. So I spend a little time with them bent, and usually just that is enough to help the muscles relax and open here. I'm gonna lean out to the right leg, fold over it, and hang out here. Letting it be easy and doing what I can to keep my left butt, the opposite butt, down. That's where the real gold is in keeping the legs firmed to the floor. Let's crawl it through the middle and over to the left. Hang out here. Let it soften, like as if you were dough, you were soft, nice, beautiful dough. Just a little spring in it. It's not all this falling all over your counter. It's holding the shape, but it's soft and perfect. And down the middle, feel free to put blocks under your forehead or a pillow. And please also feel free to keep your knees bent. If it hurts to straighten the legs, I've heard reports that can hurt on the knee, and the knee isn't not feeling good, feeling well. So you can keep those legs active and fold forward or passive. And rise, reach behind the knees, hold behind the legs, pull those legs in manually. You don't want to overdo anything that you struck. I'm scooching forward and you don't have to lie down on your back. We're gonna bring the knees up and take this right toward a shoulder stand. So feet are coming up behind us. Hold your back. Knees are soft because your low back may feel a bit of have felt a bit of a stretch in that last part. So you want to take it easy here. Honor whatever's there. Maybe that's enough, or maybe you want to raise your legs up. Elbows down. I'd say 20, 30 years of my life, I did shoulder stand with 4 blankets. I don't know why I'm laughing, it's not funny. 4 blankets, and I loved it. But for some reason, in the last few years, I've really enjoyed no blankets, which is wild. If you had told 20-year me that I would ever do this without blankets, I would have said no. That's insane. So I love both. I have a love-hate relationship with this pose. And I'm reading this book that says if you're a dichotomist like that, you're in your shame core, but that's what the book says. But also to say you're in some sort of wound. And that's for sure. So this pose goes right to the heart of things for me. Spread your toes. Energy is moving up, up. And I do feel strongly that these poses that do take us right to the wounds are the teachers. They're all teachers. These ones are like, I need this course. Let's bring the legs back down as much as I try to avoid it. Knees on the forehead, eyebrows. You can pick your feet up to make that contact more intense or not. Really, I'm enjoying it right now. Pressure on that forehead, and then kind of like a massage. I'm sliding my knees across my temples. They're hitting my cheekbones. I wish they were more around my ears. They're not. They're on my cheekbones, but that's good too because that's stimulating lymph. That's good. If I had blankets, they would definitely be around my ears. That tells me that the angle is changing. The angle changes the depth. Okay, and then slowly descend, careful, into a variation or fish. So hands come under the buttocks, arch the chest up, rest the head on the floor, or there's so many ors, right? You could just elevate the chest gently. I'm going for this full version of it. Elbows are squeezing in toward each other, heart is lifted. And there's a sense of the heart chakra, or I'm bringing awareness to the heart chakra, opening. Opening. Throat chakra, opening. Third eye chakra, which is the 6th, opening. Stimulating 7th. This pose also stimulates all endocrines, and all endocrines are connected to chakra. It's a chakra balancing pose. I mean, aren't they all? But this one's really on the nose about it. And then push down through the elbows, and then come on down. Hold your head, careful, and move it about. Steer it to the left and steer it to the right. Held. Hold it. Move your fingers to the base of your skull. Create a little picket fence with your fingers. Lay your head down.
over that fence, hold the fence in place, shoulder blades come down, and then move the fence away, fingers come down to an angle at your sides. Roll your arms and your legs until they feel floppy and open. You may feel weird, right? Like don't move around too much if you can help it. Just let the weirdness, if it is weirdness, be. Let the mystery be. As they said, you show leftovers, which I loved for the first 2 seasons, and then it got crazy. I'm being honest, really, it's 1 season, and I was praying for the second that it would get better. I held on there for all of them. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Deep breath in. Really let the exhale transform you. Deep breath in. Exhale. Let the body rest. Let the bones feel as though they're releasing down into the ground. As you give yourself permission to let go. We surrender to the beingness. And we let the stories that are holding the patterns of the past go. Releasing belief systems, memories, active memories that are holding imbalances in place. And letting our body write new code. As it recalibrates and optimizes. Taking a deep breath, fill the body with it. Exhale. We watch. We observe the rising. We inhale. Phenomena arises. We exhale. We observe. Inhale. Exhale. Pause at the bottom of that exhale and observe as wisdom spontaneously arises. On the next inhale, you'll stretch, reaching through fingers and toes. Stretch right and left side individually. So bending into that left, bending into that right. Bend the left knee toward chest, and just for time's sake, we're going to roll right to the side and up to sit. I have to go to the vet for me and Lola. Sit up tall. I'm always going to kiss my dogs, even if it means getting their rashes. Reach the arms up to the sky. Fold your hands at your heart. Thumbs into your chest, and we'll take one Om together. Inhale. Om. Bring thumbs to your forehead center. Hello, intuition. Please use this to help you help as a guide throughout your day, to help you heal, to help you navigate, help you use your whatever wounds you have as ways to grow, ways to have an exceptional life. Bow forward, honoring one another. It's in this group that just it's incredible that you guys show up and hold this space for yourself and one another. It means more than we know. Sit up tall, sending light to all beings everywhere. Thank you, thank you. Love you guys. Have a really blessed day. Bye.